We're here to make a dish that's a staple in the rotation of how I feed myself at home. It's cheap, it's easy, but most importantly, very delicious. Like a lot of other cultures, I grew up enjoying the simple pleasure of a piping hot bowl of white rice with a crispy fried egg on top. It's something my grandfather, the real OG bodeguero here, still eats almost every day. It's hard to beat the virtuously pure majesty of a runny yolk, cascading over steaming dunes of rice, but by including some Japanese flavors, I'll show you how to make my perfect bowl. So for our prep, we'll start with what takes the longest, and that's the noble venture of roasting garlic. I'll be the first to say that I hate absolutely every step in the process of breaking down garlic. The skins that get everywhere, how sticky it makes your hands, so to speak that is, the fact that you can't wash the odor out from under your fingernails for 2 to 4 business days. For convenience sake, I buy peeled garlic, but only from the Asian market. It's obviously easy when it comes pre-peeled, but it's also extraordinarily cheap. I also like having a small container of the roasted stuff on hand, so I can easily incorporate it into many of my dishes without having to mince it by hand every time. Your oven temperatures and preferences for how much color you like on your garlic will vary, but I'm going to pack mine tightly in tin foil with a touch of olive oil and salt and roast it at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes. Next, we'll move to our rice. I'm using 3 cups here, which should be enough for plenty of leftovers, but less so if I'm feeling particularly shameless about my portion sizes. I'm going to thoroughly wash the rice as well, which rinses off excess starch and gives you a lighter, fluffier product with separate grains rather than dense clumps. This is then going into a rice cooker, mostly because I'm not the rice savant my grandfather is, and I frankly don't trust myself enough to do it analog style. Add 3.5 cups water, or whatever your preferred ratio is, and throw in a small glug of oil to keep things from sticking. While I would normally season with salt here as well, for this recipe, we'll adjust at the end if needed. While our rice cooks, let's get our compound butter ready. With some softened butter, I'm taking about 4 tablespoons here and combining it with 2 tablespoons of white miso paste. Cream it together with a fork until well incorporated. And while I originally said that the garlic we roasted earlier takes 40 minutes, I have the magic of video editing on my side, so that's ready to take out of the oven. Carefully unwrap your steamy present and mash it into a paste of roasted, sumptuous, garlicky goodness. Let it cool slightly before adding 2 tablespoons of the paste into your butter to make a 2:1:1 ratio. With our butter ready, we'll get the rest of our fixings together as well, so our mise is appropriately placed. I'm grabbing light soy sauce, sesame seeds, chili crisp, seaweed, and Japanese katsuoboshi. Katsuoboshi is fermented, dried, and smoked skipjack tuna that's shaved down into flakes. Its umami, smoky flavor can also be replaced with bonito flakes, which taste similar and may be easier to find. If you're really trying to simplify, you can also use a pre-made furikake, or rice seasoning. There are many different types, but they often will contain some combination of seaweed, sesame seeds, and dried fish. For these nori sheets, however, I'm going to give them a quick chop so they're evenly dispersed throughout, along with some sliced green onions to use as garnish at the end. Our final order of business before assembly will be the ever-important fried egg. You can fry it to your liking, but for my tastes, I'm going for a runny yolk with crispy edges. For that, I'll use a medium heat with my non-stick pan. Once my oil is hot, I'm going to attempt to show off for you by cracking the egg with one hand for meaningless internet style points. And nailed it. Now that I've gotten my showboating out of the way, I'm leaving the edges to crisp up and the whites to fully set. I'm seasoning here with salt, black pepper, and a little bit of Togarashi. This Japanese spice blend has a decent kick to it, with 7 total ingredients, including ground chili pepper, ginger, orange peel, and others. You'll also sometimes find it labeled as shichimi, referencing the Japanese word for the number 7. The flavor itself isn't necessary to the dish, especially since we're using such a small amount, but I like the pop of color it adds to the egg white here. But with our egg cooked, we're ready to bring it all home. Into my bowl go a few generous globs of steaming rice with a spoonful of our compound butter and spicy chili crisp. Mix it all up so that the butter melts and the rice absorbs all that delicious chili oil. Once it's well incorporated, I'm finishing it off with about a tablespoon of soy sauce, as well as some sprinkled seaweed, sesame seeds, and those katsuoboshi flakes. Give it another mix, top with your fried egg, hit it with a little more chili crisp and sesame seeds, and garnish with some green onions, just so you can say you have a vegetable on your plate. Enjoy! While this dish does feel like an absolute affront to my arteries, it feels like a warm but spicy hug on my taste buds. This is an ode to rich and sumptuous fat, from the runny yolk to the chili oil to the miso garlic butter. The smoky umami notes are a nice counterpoint, provided by the fermented beans in the chili crisp and the katsuoboshi. Still, the beauty of this bowl is that it's infinitely customizable to your liking, and I often play around with it myself. Maybe I want sriracha for my spice instead of more fat from the chili crisp, giving it a bit of acid to cut through the richness as well. Along those lines, maybe I squirt some lime over the top, or use ponzu instead of soy sauce. Maybe I add some sweet caramelized onions to the mix, spiced with the Togarashi for even more flavor. Maybe I hit it with some sesame oil. Maybe I use shrimp paste instead of the butter. Maybe I use a raw egg, or a quick soy cured one instead of frying it. There are an unbelievable amount of possibilities that you can use to customize to your own palate. This is just my take on the simple Japanese butter rice, a comfort food where you pour soy sauce over steaming hot rice as it slowly melts your thick pat of butter. It transports me to the Shinjuku you see on the Netflix show Midnight Diner, which very much fits our Bodega ethos if you ask me. And if I'm even half the cook that Master is, I'll take that as a win.